So let's talk about the counters now. Depending on which way Todd goes, we'll start with the first version I showed you where he brings his leg over, right? So he's in combat base, he puts on a foot lock. Bring that leg over and fall to that shoulder. Yes, we're in a position like this, right? I have to, the first thing I have to do is I have to clear my hip. I have to free my hip, right? So I'm gonna put on, like I'm putting on a boot. I'm just tightening up my foot for a second. Like lifting my toes and pushing my heel down. Part of that is I want to make it a little harder for him to grab my heel. I don't want to be lazy because now he might switch to a heel hook. Yeah. So it's just a split second. I tighten that up, and now I've got to grab his foot and I've got to push my hip forward to get that off. But if I just try and pull it out, don't let me pull your foot off. That can be very hard, right? If I move my hip forward, I can get the foot off, right? Don't let me pull your foot off. Right? And once I get it off, I have to hold it off. And then my job, I don't particularly care what Todd does at the moment. What matters is I get my butt flat on that. Right? Now he can't switch to a heel hook. Very difficult for him to switch to a heel hook. And I can start to work my way on top, depending on what he does with his feet. Okay, so it should be, let's talk about the first part again. So he goes for it. This is very late, right? If I was early, go back for a sec, Todd. Early would be he goes to grab my foot and I go here, which is what he was doing to me. That's early, okay? Late, but a little earlier, he grabs my foot. So I grab his arm. Then I start to kick it through. And now if he lays back, go ahead and lay back. I'll go with him and use that to get on top, okay? I missed all that. I didn't get my heel out. I didn't grab him in time. He falls back. As he's falling back, keep going. Keeping that leg off my hip will be the next one. I missed all that. I got all the way here. So you're very late. I'm starting at the worst possible spot, right? Very late. Foot, get forward, bring it out, and work to slide yourself around. From here, I'm going to connect myself to him. And now we're just in the battle for top. Okay? Go ahead and try that back first. So what we just did is all the way late, as late as it can get, right? He's all the way in his position, he's about to tap. All the way over here, right? So I've got to clear my hip. So I'm grabbing the two hands, bringing my hip forward. I have to hang on to that. If I let it go, try and rush on top, he's got to put his foot back. And you got to hang on to it till you get close to it. So it's here. And this rotation is what really matters. I don't want to be here. As long as I'm here, there's a lot more threat that he can leg lock either later. Actually, as soon as I get here, now that changes the game. Okay, so that's very late. Okay? A little bit earlier, he grabbed my foot, he lays back, and I missed it, but I know he needs that foot in my hip, right? So it's just like what Pete was talking about earlier. I want to go where I know he needs to go before he does. So I just put my elbow on my hip bone, try and leg lock him. And I keep that off, right? And then do the exact same thing I just showed you. Okay? So, grabs my foot, lays back. I'm already in that spot. Okay? A little bit earlier. He grabs my foot. I don't get my heel out, but I'm going to grab at the elbow and the shoulder, right? And then usually what I'll do is I'll kick my leg through and either play closed guard, or he'll lay back. Some guys get greedy and they'll lay back. Go ahead. And you're going to use that to get on top. Okay? And the earliest, always the best, he goes to grab my foot and I rotate to get that heel out. So the rotation is always the same. It's always this way. Because what I really want to protect is that heel. Right? If I go this way, there's the heel. Okay? It's always here. Once my heel is on the chest, there's still a leg lock he can still do, but there's a really good chance I could pull my foot out. Okay, so if we go the other way, he goes to grab my foot early, right? I can't rotate my heel out, grab, go with him, right? I miss the grab, so he goes to put his foot in my hip. I'm blocking it. I miss all that. Hip in and control that foot until I can get over here, right? And then we can battle for top. So you got the whole sequence, okay? Go ahead. Do the other side. Keep in mind too, it depends on how he's grabbed, right? So Todd's in my guard, and he grabs shallow towards the end of my foot down by my heel. That makes it easier for me to rotate my heel out, right? Usually. If he grabs up higher, it's going to be harder for me to get my heel out, but it's easier for me to catch that elbow and that arm, right? Again, I want to grab right at the elbow because this is where I'm going to have the most leverage, and then I'm going to try and kick my leg through, right? And you can go closed guard, you can go omoplata. If they still sit back, because a lot of times they do it all at once, so he would be sitting back, right? And he winds up pulling on top. Okay? Now we go the other way, grabs my foot, and goes the other side. So the foot comes here, and goes this shoulder. Good. Now, it's much the same, right? But this time I've got to push the foot down to the mat, and then sit this way. Right? Sit up, and I rotate, again, my heel up. I don't want him to heel hook me, and my job is to get on my butt. And now I'm out, okay? That's super late. Again, we missed all the same ones, right? When he goes to grab, I rotate my heel. If I can't rotate my heel, I connect myself to him and go. If I can't do that, I get my elbow in my hip, blocking that out, right? I missed all that. So you just basically do the same thing. You thrust your hip forward, put the foot down to the mat, hold it, and sit on it to get here. And then I connect myself to him, and I'm going to fight to pull myself on top. Okay? I'm going to show you one more from here in a minute, but let's go through these first. So go ahead. It's the same thing, but upside down, basically. The defenses, if it switches to a heel hook, are exactly the same because usually the entry to the heel hook is similar. So if you get good at these and you're early with these, you'll also be countering a heel hook. Because usually they have to catch the foot and then they switch to a heel hook. The moment he switches grips, I need to be mindful because that changes the game, right? If Todd throws on a straight foot lock, either way, but then he switches to a heel hook, now my counter changes. You see now, if I do what I was just about to show you, I'll tear my own foot out. Yeah. Right? I'll pop my knee, so I'll roll this way. So I can't do that now. Right? So you just have to be aware of that grip switch. You have to do something a little bit different. You have to slip the heel and work your way out. Okay, but before that, the counters were the same. That's all the way towards the end when they switch grips out most of the time. So if you practice getting good at the foot lock, you also get out of a lot of heel hook entries as well. We can go on those on another day. Just be aware of that, right? Because I have to change. If I'm here, if he goes the other way, and he switches to a heel hook, and I rotate my hips the way I just showed you, you can see what will happen to my knee, right? So I can't do that here. I have to go the other direction. I have to roll out there. I have to unroll that, right? If I unroll a straight foot lock, if he has a straight foot lock, and I try and do what I just did, I might hurt my own knee, okay? But if he switches to a heel hook, I absolutely have to do that. So my escape totally depends on his grip. So where people get hurt is they don't notice the person switch grips on. You gotta pay attention. Make sense? We'll do one more. And I'm just gonna use weight distribution and getting on top to protect my foot. So he's gonna go into the most popular entry, which is the one we just did. So he falls to the inside. The last one we did. Yeah, and he's here, right? And I'm gonna swing my foot around this way. I'm gonna work my way up here. And I'm just gonna work to standing, okay? What I'm trying to do is get to this position and put weight on my foot, right? So try and attack the foot lock. Now, with my foot flat and weight on it, it's going to be hard for him, and now we're in a different scramble. Okay? So, go back to it. It's simpler than it looks. Go ahead and lay down. Okay. So I'm swinging this foot underneath to get to here, and then I'm walking my way up until I have weight on this foot. Now I can clear it and work the top. Okay? That often works really well. Okay, you guys want to try? Go ahead. If people are worried about the leg lock here, you're standing and they're going to reap you and you're going to be in a position like this. I'm going to take his toes and I'm going to put them in his mouth. I'm not kidding. And with my body weight, and use that as a pass. That's the counter. Okay, that's what you're doing. My goal is to make my foot heavy. If he makes his foot light, he can heel hook, right? Here he can sweep me. Here he can't do any of that, right? And I can work to pass his guard. So that's basically what you do. Make sense? So that's why I'm getting to the standing position. If we don't keep that in mind and you're in a standing position, put your foot here, it feels a little precarious. Once you understand what you would be doing, it's a lot worse for him than it is for you, right?
Can you show the transition one more time? Coming to stand?
Sure. Basically, I've got to get my right foot under him, right? So go, or left foot rather. So you over this way, under the shin. Yeah. I've got to get this foot under this way. Now I can start to go here. And that's really what it's about, is I'm trying to get my right foot flat, and I'm trying to put weight on it. Now the straight foot lock's gone, right? If he reaps me this way, he can potentially heel hook though. But like I said, yeah, I can start to work, I can figure forward grip. Got a lot of stuff to do there to him as well. That's the thing, he leg locks, I can foot lock, right? As soon as that foot's over here, yeah, he can foot lock me, I can foot lock him. There's all kinds of nasty stuff you guys can do to each other, right? That makes it a little bit different from, that's why it's almost, it's not really an advantage for either one of us. It's just like whoever's better at that particular game, which is totally different from being in a position like this, right? This is why we want to get on top. Okay, I'm going to give you another minute or two to work it, and then we'll finish up with a round of practicing. Okay, go ahead. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for frequent updates, because we're updating this every week, and make sure you comment and like and share our videos. We appreciate it, and we definitely try and respond to all the comments. And if you like what we're doing and you like the material, check out SBG University, SBGU, and you're going to see a ton more in much greater depth than what you see here on YouTube. Thank you very much.